want to talk more on the excuse me, the influence of a father, the importance of that. If we could go back into that, because you were mentioning that earlier. I don't know. How can, I guess, single mothers what's certain mechanisms they can use to try to get, a father to be more involved? I know that you can't make somebody want to, but sometimes people are combative, and for other reasons, maybe they're angry or jealous, this and that. What can you tell, I guess, a father in regards to how to get through that barrier just to be involved in a child's life if they're dealing with them not being with their mother?
Okay. I think one of the biggest misnomers, and we work with fathers and helping them through the child support system, child protective services, and fatherhood, relationships, and things like that, and also mothers. And the vast majority of men, if you talk to men who are estranged from their children, estranged from the mother, you will find that at least 90% of them want to be involved in their child's life. They want it. The reason why they are is because of the mother. That's it.
Look, Mr. Tucker, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When I was going through that custody case, it was meant for me to go through that with my eldest child, because I had no idea that that's what men experience. Like, that was crazy. And I wrote about it in my book, the first book. Oh my goodness. It got so bad. It was one time I came over. Now I got it down to set days because I knew the lady is crazy. And so, I don't even care at this point. So it got so bad. I go over there for a visitation. As soon as I get there, she talking about, the dog had a veterinarian appointment. I swear to God, that's what she said. So I'm just like, so you're caught between flicking or maintaining your composure, but then knowing this person take you for a sucker, because she's seeking a specific reaction. Anybody who doesn't know, who's listening to this, my son, he had his paternal grandparents who were raising him. So I was dealing with visitation through a third party, and I got to see how a woman plays games on the non-custodial parent. So at that time, I didn't have custody. And so I was just like, oh my God. And it was years of it. It wasn't just one or two incidents. It was years. And anybody who knows Thon is relentless. So I didn't care. I was like, and it was tumultuous. Believe me, there's no way I could have kept a full-time job. I had a great support system. My husband was working, taking care of me, especially at that time. So I was able to, navigate through these ridiculous waters. And then it got to the point where I went and joined the PTA. This is how far I was going. And she went as far as to talking bad about me to the people at the school, so that they started putting up boundaries so that I couldn't come see my son. And I'm like, the stuff, I didn't realize what she was saying, because it makes you go, well, what could she possibly say to make people get involved? It's the same as these whisper campaigns around the United States of America that got people assassinating stuff because it's believable. And I didn't find out till we got to court. All the transcripts, all that stuff is searchable. When I was like, my gosh, she was saying some horrible stuff about me that wasn't true.
It's assassination, yeah.
And that's what men go through. I get it. If you're dealing with a baby mother and that's a narcissist or have narcissistic tendencies, yes, you're going to be dealing with that. And I get it. You sometimes it's like, forget it. That because I'm there right now. Look at how I went full circle. Now they tried that mess again, and the child. See, this what happens. The child gets tangled up in the drama, and then knows how to work every party. But this time, you think I'll be sucked up in a court battle? I think not. I get why men be like, "I'll catch him when you turn 18." I do not care. And I mean that because it will affect your mental health. I can't imagine what I get it. I know that Allah put me in this position so I don't hold my nose up at fathers who are quote unquote not involved or whatever. Because until you in that position, you can't hold your nose up at anybody. And you have to not care, or I'm gonna sit there, I'll be in the psych ward. If I sat there and was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I'd be sitting in St. Elizabeth right now.
I was counseling and mentoring men. I did for about 8 years. And the stories I heard, these were guys that went to jail, prison, came out, and I had a story myself. And when I first got with this group, I'm like, okay, so I've never been in jail. What can I share with these guys? What can I, wisdom can I impart upon them? And once I started hearing their stories, particularly in that area, I realized for one thing, a lot of people make decisions because they don't know what their options are.
Yes.
The thing that I found out over and over and over again about this particular topic is that men care, men respect women. That's why we take some of the abuse that we do. You can't hit a woman. A woman can do anything. They can poke you, they can hit you, they can fire you, they can do whatever they want. They're not supposed to hit them. And men pretty much hold true to that. We respect women that way. You don't hear men talking about their, even the things that we go through with the mother in those cases. You don't hear men talk about their child's mother to the child.
Some
you don't
men
say those bad things. Now we might go over here with our guys or our family. Or
hey, wait. Some men,
Most
and
men.
I won't say no names. I ain't gonna say no names because some people like to go on social media and talk trash about the baby mother and all that stuff. And yes, some men.
No. I'm saying directly to their child.
Oh, you did.
So like me going to you and telling you that your mother, this one, that's what I'm talking about.
No. They will go. It's men. I'm telling you, and I ain't gonna say no name. That'll go straight to the child, just so the child can come back. I had to start telling the child, stop telling me stuff. Please stop telling me stuff. But I believe,
nothing's 100%. But as I said, the vast majority,
Yeah.
And so, in these scenarios, the system doesn't. It's not about, and we have to understand this. We have to really admit some things that the system, particularly that part of the system, is set up to separate our families in particular.
Mm-hmm.
That's its purpose. So both of us, the male, the woman, and the father, have to understand. The mother and the father have to understand that that's the system's purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And we sometimes we get so vengeful that we want what we want, or sometimes women want to hurt men, and they will use that child to enact their punishment upon the father.
Yeah, as a pawn. They be pawns.
Yes. And that was something that really, it shocked me. It shocked me how a mother could use their child like that, because when that child's young, the child doesn't know, but when that child gets older, that child is going to see. It's going to see what you were doing and how that wasn't right. And so, so you asked me, so getting back to the question, the main thing is understanding that getting back to the question of how do you get that father to get back into life? And it's going to take the mother to create an environment, because a man's not going to voluntarily walk into a situation where he's being abused. Not going to do it. Our respect for ourselves is so high, because how can I come into my child's life and teach my child respect for themselves when I have to disrespect myself to get in that situation? And while I'm with my child, this person is constantly disrespecting me, and my child is seeing it. You understand?
I like that. That was well said. How can I do that when I gotta disrespect myself to get in that situation? That is
abuse.
You do have to disrespect yourself.
And so a man's not going to do that. I'm going to hold on to my respect, and because I got to keep fighting. I got, and it's like, okay, back up, because men, we don't want drama. Most men.
Mhm.
There's men that a lot of men who are in a household where they're raised by women. That's kind of like how things operate most time. Not 100%, but these are the things most men are dealing with. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying, and it's the thing about saying these types of things. These are men's realities, and for
Mhm.
so long, men's realities have been shunned, stepped on, squashed. Oh, you hate your mother, you hate
Mhm.
women, and things like that. No, I don't. But
Mhm.
one thing is that I'm glad of now is you're starting to see particularly black men speak up and tell their truth.
Yep.
And in that case, men are feeling better about who they are, and now they're more determined to be a part of their children's lives and more selective in the women that they decide to marry.
Mhm.
Men will still
Oh,
go
yes.
and party with a woman and shoot the club up, but they aren't. I'm not going to pick that as a wife. And see,
Absolutely.
so what's happening now is women are starting to realize that the guys just want to get with them to have some fun because,
Exactly. Because
because of their attitude, because of how you're coming as independent. And
yes.
wow, if I'm looking for a wife, why? And I had to explain this to a 70-year-old woman not too long ago,
Mhm.
and she talked about how independent she is and this that and other. I said, so if I'm looking to get married and form a team, why would I go out and pick someone who told me they're independent and they're not going to conform to a team? Well, I can, but you don't have those habits. See, I'm looking at you now, and everything that's coming out your mouth is not conducive to teamwork. So I'm not gonna. We can be friends. We can smile. We can laugh. We can go out. We can do all that stuff. But I'm not gonna bring you in where now I'm gonna be responsible for you and to say, "Oh, you don't have to be responsible." Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Man, it's like if you under my umbrella, I'm responsible for you. I'm not gonna let something. You're a woman or you're a child. A man, okay, you fend for yourself, or we go at this thing together against whatever we're going at. But a woman or a child, I'm responsible. I feel responsible for you if you're
Mhm.
in my company. So I'm not gonna bring somebody that's constantly, chopping at me, and then I'm gonna be independent. I'm gonna do what I want. Whoa, okay, I'm trying to bring the team along, and you're not with the team, so I stay over there and it's hard
Right.
for women to understand it. Well, take me as I am. No, no, this is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for no drama. I'm not looking to have to fight you. I'm not looking to have to handle you. That's anybody in my life, you know. And the thing that I always told my daughter, I said, look at how you came up. I never brought drama to my house. I didn't bring anybody that was doing drugs or stealing or doing anything crazy, hiding out from the police,
Mhm.
crazy stuff like that. I didn't do that. No, because I'm not bringing you around my family. I'm protecting my
Right.
family. That's my
Right.
choice. And I'm disciplined like that.
Right.
Okay. So that my children never had to be involved in it. Now, I'm not going to say when I'm away from my family, I'm out there, I'm not going to say the kind of people, I'm dealing with, or have to deal with the business or whatever. Hang, whatever. But that's not coming to my home.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
that's discipline. And I don't
Yeah,
bring the drama.
you got to have control over your
Your life.
household, especially
Yeah.
who's coming in. And then the role of a wife, I think that a lot of people who are not married do not understand the power of it. Not just a wife, a husband as well. And all the way down to if something happens to you and you are unconscious, the spouse, at least in the United States of America, has 100% power over what happens to you, regardless,
Mm,
unless you have a power of attorney. That's what I learned. Like
yeah.
about 2 years ago. That's what I learned. Unless you got some type of power of attorney that assigned that responsibility to somebody else, even though you're married, by law, by default, at least in Maryland, it automatically goes to the spouse. And that's what made me realize people don't understand the significance of what a spouse is. It isn't just walking down the
Mm.
aisle. It isn't just signing your name to the marriage contract. It is it is a contract. It's a serious
It's
contract.
business. It's business.
Thank you. It's business, and
It's business.
people are confused. They thinking that how come these men don't want to marry me, and then also even the other way around. How come you know even if it's the opposite sex, it's kind of like I'm about to enter into a contract with you, and you tripping right now. You know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
can't take you serious. It has to be. I know that it's basically ride or die. I know if some stuff pops
Mhm.
off, I know you is like my backbone, and it has to be that for each other. And I know with the first marriage, we went to counseling, and I remember the therapist said she's nodding off while we fighting. We fighting in the daggone counseling session. And she said, yeah. I said, is she nodding off? And she said, I'm not asleep. I'm not asleep. She said, listen, you sound like two single people with each other's rings on. I never forgot that statement because I didn't know what she was
Say
talking
that again.
about.
Say
So
that again.
you sound like two single people with each other's rings on. And I didn't realize what that
With
statement
each
meant.
other's rings on.
Yes, until I got married the second time. And then I understood the sharing of everything. Like it's not, I'm gonna just open up a business. I'm just gonna go up because that's how I treated the man. Forget you, I'm about to go to New York. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Or whatever.
mm,
Because I had no respect for him at all. I mean, he had done a lot of stuff where I just totally lost respect for him. But if that being said, um, I didn't understand what that lady said till I got remarried. And I was like, you look at the second marriage different once you've been married the first time, and
totally.
it's like, what did I
Totally.
do? Well, I did because I said, what
Mm,
did I do to contribute? Even though he was trifling, what could I have done differently? So, I've been more assertive and you know what I'm
mm,
saying? But that being said, it's a tango, like I was saying earlier, and
mm.
people don't understand that. It's a tango and it's a serious
Well,
contract.
well, it's and this is one of the things we're going to be talking about on Fatherless, is that
Hmm.
it starts from being a man, and
Hmm.
when you look at life as men, when we're young, we're told we got to go out and make our way. You have to
Hmm.
make your way, and so we go through school, we establish things, and then we go out into life. And so when we go out into life, we have to have a place of our own. We have to make enough money to support ourselves. Then we need transportation, and then we need food. And so you have to create a strategy and a discipline in order to do that. And
Right.
then we get to a place where, okay, what do I want? Okay, well, I want a house eventually. And I want to be able to take some time off on the weekend. And that's my goal. That's my life aspiration. Or I want to be able to retire at such and such an age. We look that way. Sometimes 5 years goal, 5 year goal, then we get there and then we look at 20 years or whatever. But that's a plan that we have. So when a young lady comes into our life, right? We've got this plan. We know this is, and I got to create it. I got to muscle up. I got to discipline. I can't be spending all my money because I got to make sure my tire go flat. I can put ahead, get a new tire, get to work. So I got this plan. All my world is going on. So now a woman comes in our life, and they see what I'm doing, where I'm going. They see my responsibility. They see I'm trying to do some things. They see I have goals. So as they come in and they see that, that woman says, "Okay, that's the one I want to be with. He's going someplace. I want to be with him, or I like what he's doing now, and I want to be involved in that." So you're
Hmm.
basically joining my plan. You see my plan, and you want to be a part of it. So I've got to, and here's where it gets kind of messed up, is where guys will say, "Okay, now I've got this plan. I'm doing this. I'm working it, and now this woman came into my life. Okay, now the woman's going to be the most important thing in my life."
Hmm.
But what about your goals, about where you were going and why she wanted to be with you and what was fulfilling you and pushing you in life to be
Hmm.
disciplined, to be honorable? What about those things? And
Hmm.
instead of bringing that person on as a helpmate along that path, we give that up. And so now we're dealing with this person and we're trying to make that person happy. And you can't make another person happy. And
Hmm.
that person can't give you the fulfillment that you're looking for
Right.
because they're looking for one thing that's still, because and most people will tell you, as you go through life and you accomplish something, you feel good. You got to get out of kindergarten, go to the first grade, you feel good. You get out of elementary school, you go to middle school, you feel good about what you've done. You go to high school, you graduate high school, you're going out into the world, you feel good about that, but there's still the unknown in front of
Hmm.
you. So you have to gear yourself, but you look back and say, okay, I did this, I did that. So now you're in life. And so the fulfillment, okay, I got my first place. Woo, I feel good. Can't anybody tell me what to do? I can throw my drawers up there, just go to bed whenever I want to do, drink bit, whatever. I can get in my car and go where I want to go. I don't feel like going
Right.
right now. I'm going to get groceries tomorrow. So now you got control over your life. So when someone else comes in and that's not your purpose and you're more focused on them, you lose a lot. You lose your drive.
Hmm.
You lose your respect. So the thing is to
Hmm.
keep that going, and someone can see that person and say, "Okay, who I am, what I'm doing, it fits over here." And
Right.
see how they're going. They're driving this ship already. I'm coming in to assist them. I'm not trying to come in and take over the ship. you know, what do you call it, mutiny? But so many times that's what happened. Uh, uh, women will come in and it's about them. And
Right.
those who can come in and be a part of the team, and because that guy can be a great father,
Mm-hmm.
and he's instilling things and he's going about things. But if in that home, if that woman is causing drama,
Mm-hmm.
when that man is standing firm and saying, no, this is how we're going to do it, causing drama, and that child sees it,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't have to, it negates him being a good parent, a good father,
Right.
leading the way. Because here's the thing that I noticed, and fathers, great fathers will tell you this. When you're in there and you're standing up and you're trying to build that family,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lonely position. Nobody likes you. Nobody's cheering you on verbally. If you get someone that's patting you on the back, that's cheering you along, that's great. But even if they don't, you still have that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that responsibility is bigger than that person that's standing there beside you if you take it on that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're always trying to share, but do we really want to share? Do you want to share? Do you really want to share? Okay, so if everything goes bad and I decide I'm going to sit over here, I'm not going to do anything, are you willing to on your own stand up and take care of and run and make sure everything's happening and be responsible for me too? That's not your role as a woman. You aren't made
Right.
for it. You aren't made for that.
Right.
You can sit in that seat, but your femininity, and it's not, when I say feminine, I'm not talking about softness, how you're made as a woman, created, there's just certain things that don't come to you. Like this fatherhood thing, it's not always a learned thing, it's a protected
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's part of nature. Now I know some people are gonna say, well, this is new days, this, that, and other, and that's old fashioned and everything like that. So getting back to a father, I look at the end results.
Right.
Bottom line, you can say what you want. Look at the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
When we have women that are raising our children, and then they say, "I'm the mother and the father." Well, you're a good mother. You might be a great mother, but you're a lousy father because you don't bring those skills to the table. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm a lousy
Right.
mother. I'm a lousy mother. I'm the worst
Right.
mother in the world. I know that, but I'm damn good at what I do as a father.
Mm-hmm.
And so when daughters see that, they look at their mother and they look at that mother to see how that mother responds to that father,
Mm-hmm.
that leadership, you know, and that discipline, particularly the discipline. Because
Right.
you won't see many of these girls out here twerking in the street and they're in their teens and they're going back home and there's a father in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no. You're not seeing these guys out here slinging drugs, a father that's on point, and coming
Right.
home and the father in the house, and now they done bought themselves a car.
Right.
They don't have a job, but they done bought some sneakers. These
Right.
expensive sneakers and stuff like that. Father, where you get that money from, boy?
Right.
Show me.